Hello, everyone, and welcome to my new show. They call it Out of Nowhere. It's a fabulous show where we talk about all different sorts of subjects from aliens to Bigfoot to psychic mediums to werewolves, the paranormal. But my guest today is all the way from Scarborough, not far away from where I live. It's about 19 miles as the crow flies. She's a psychic medium. She used to live in Folkestone and then now she lives in Scarborough. Can we please welcome Sue Ludden to the show? Hello there.
Hello there. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Tell us about how it all started for you as a child and growing up.
I've seen since I was a little girl. I kind of I have memories of, I suppose, being in my cot and seeing the shadows, and so I've always seen. And I went to boarding school from about the age of 8 or so, convent school. So it was convent, big castle near Alton
Oh,
Towers, yeah, with the nuns and whatever. And that was very haunted. So I saw loads and experienced loads while I was at school there. But I think when you're younger, I think you think that everybody else can do it. So it doesn't seem so abnormal, does it, when you're connecting with spirit at that age? Um, so I kind of just saw things, and as a teenager, I quite often astral traveled as well. So I'd find, because I was at boarding school, that I'd often know what was happening at home or different things that had happened. I remember one day I rang my stepdad and said, "Oh, um, about my mum." Kind of, I said, "Oh, is mum in hospital?" He said, "No, she's fine." I said, "Oh no," I said, I saw, and I told him what I'd seen happened. And he said, "Oh yes, that's just happened." And she was in hospital, and I just knew from having travelled from hours all the way up
oh,
in Oswestry. So yeah, so I used to have weird and wonderful things happen, and then I suppose it quietened down a bit after that. But yeah, I've always had spirit around me.
do you think children are more open now
Well, do
nowadays
you
as well to see spirit?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we are spirit, aren't we, in human bodies? So, being that we're spirit, we should be able to connect with them really easily. And I kind of think maybe some people are a little bit more open or naturally open than others. But I kind of think for children, they haven't got all that doubt in their minds. They're very open minded. They're playful, aren't they? They're in touch with their imagination and their I suppose, a different consciousness or
Yeah.
yeah. So, and life doesn't get in the way so much. So, I think most children probably speak to their guides as an imaginary friends or talk to loved ones, and um, I think that's quite wonderful.
Oh, true. Do you come from a religious background then?
Yeah, well, I was Catholic, Roman Catholic, so and that's why I went to a convent school run by like boarding school run by nuns. So yeah, it was very strict. It was very kind of uh, I suppose how Catholic is, what guilt and all that kind of, you know what I mean, kind of pressure and all. It's very, I mean, there's lots of wonderful things I've taken from it. There's lots of kind of about being kind and good, and there's a lot of lovely morals that I suppose that I've taken from it. But I've let go of all the guilt and the um, kind of, you're force fed a lot, kind of there, and I've given that part of it up, kept a little bit of it, but yeah.
Was your was your family religious or psychic?
No, not really. I've got a grandmother who was quite she was quite religious. She used to see spirit um quite regularly, but because she was Catholic, she thought it was a, you know what I mean, kind of like she was disturbing the dead and all this kind of thing. So she didn't see it as a kind of a great thing. I mean, she had an experience which she told us about when she was nursing. She was learning to nurse, and she was working in a hospital in London, and she was on night shift, and it was a children's ward. And she said, "Oh, she'd sat, like they'd all gone off to their dinner, and she was there on her own. And this gentleman, this doctor, walked in and said hello, and he introduced himself as Doctor So and So, and went and sat with one of the children. This doctor did for about an hour or whatever, and then he got up and said good night, sister, and kind of went off. And when the rest of the team came back, or she said, "Oh, this doctor had been to kind of see the little girl over there," and she said, "Well, what's his name?" And he said, "Well, he died 3 years ago." And about 10 minutes later, the little girl passed. So
Ah,
kind of like, so she, quite often she'd see spirit as kind of I see you. So I suppose there's a gift that's been, and her dad was the same. So there's a generational thing that's kind of in the family. And then
Oh,
my mum's kind of got the gift, not that she uses it, and my daughter too. And I suppose my boys, I've got 2 boys, a daughter and 2 boys, and all of them are spiritually capable. Yeah, my son
do they
does.
use their gift then?
No. I mean, they have done at times. I mean, my eldest son, he's kind of he's a very good trance medium, and he's more interested in the investigation side of it, and kind of physical mediumship and all that kind of thing. So he's very much
Yeah.
into that kind of thing. And I think more and more as he goes through life, he'll do it more. And my daughter, she's dabbled, sat on circle and whatever. And I think maybe later on she'll kind of, but she's a very good medium. Yeah.
Alison was just saying in the chat room, my dad saw his mum and brothers before he passed.
Yeah, so many people do. It's a real comfort, isn't it? I think when that happens. I must admit, I can't. Do I have to? Oh, I can see
Going to
I can see
comments.
it now. I've got it. I can see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
chat room.
yeah, and I think sometimes spirit do that to let them know that, especially if they're scared or worried, and to let them know that actually there's nothing to be worried about. There's this beautiful place that you're going to, that kind of,
Yeah, that is it. That is a thing. What people talk about now and then is they're frightened of dying.
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah.
And I spoke about this on another show, and I said and a few people said, "Oh yeah, I'm frightened." I said, "There's no need to be frightened."
No. And I'm really lucky that I get to talk with lovely Dr. John, who you've met, kind of, Bob.
Yeah.
And also working as a medium, I get to talk to spirit all the time, and not one spirit has come back to me and said that the spirit world isn't anything but love. Just love and taking care, and just kind of, and the first thing that happens when somebody passes over is they go into this beautiful hospital, and they're taken care of and loved, and they meet their loved ones. So it's just a beautiful experience, kind of, you know what I mean? It's kind of, I suppose we're going home, and that's how I see it. It's like a you're going home and you're meeting kind of just love and
family again.
Yeah.
Meeting your family. It's just
Yeah.
like being reborn again, really.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
going to come around you and see you there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they normally come and get you. So your hand's held from the minute you pass to the minute, kind of, you know what I mean? Your hand is held, and you were loved, and you were cared for, and how wonderful is that? That's kind of, and to know that our loved ones are being cared for in that way when they pass.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you believe anyone can be a medium then?
I do. I kind of think, but I think it's a bit like, like, say, playing the violin. So if you play because we're spirit, aren't we? So as we're spirit in a human body, we can connect with spirit. But just some people can pick up the violin, can't they? And they can master it in a couple of months, and they're kind of,
Oh God,
yeah. But some people just make the worst noise, and some people just never get the hang of it, and some people, catch on. And I think it's a bit like that with mediumship. I kind of think it's like a muscle. The more you connect with them, train it and believe in it, but just some people are more naturally gifted, I kind of feel, or open in that way. And also there's different types of mediumship, isn't there? So some people kind of maybe more artistic, creative, physical, trance, writing, draw. There's so many different sides to it too. So I kind of think for anybody, if they've tried and sat in a circle and thought, well, platform mediumship, well, wasn't for them, try, automatic writing, try psychometry, try tea leaf reading, try cards, try, don't be defeated if the first thing hasn't worked, because there's so many different gifts or ways of working mediumistically.
Yeah, like you're saying about that. Tell us a little bit about being a psychic artist.
Oh, well, I kind of that's how I started, because I'd always had activity around me, and it kind of quietened down for a little bit and then ramped up again when I was about 18. And I shared a flat with a Scottish girl who was lovely, but she always used to moan at me, Bob, for cutting cucumber on the side. She used to kind of she said, get a chopping board. And I used to kind of like, and when she was out, sometimes I'd go to do this cucumber. And this one day I went to chop this cucumber on the side, and the chopping board flew off the draining board and whacked me on the head.
Oh
Nobody else
no.
was in the flat. Yeah. And then after that, I just got more and more activity like that. I got so much activity around me, and it got to about the age of 30, and I thought I was kind of possessed, or kind of I'd had the priest out in my home and everything. But then I met a
Wow.
medium who said, Susie, they want you to do this. That's why they're getting your attention. They're doing all these things because they want you to do it. So I sat on a circle, and I was very lucky. I picked it up really quickly. But the circle I sat on, unfortunately, they were very much, and I find this, that a lot of people are held down when they're developing. We're kind of, as mediums or kind of teachers, and in this way, we're there to kind of encourage and let them fly, to spread their wings and show how fabulous they are, and how well it. So,
Yeah.
and I think too much for me, I was, as soon as I started to shine a little bit of a light, I was put down, and I was made to feel I couldn't do it. And um, so yeah, so I kind of stepped away from the circle, and tried other things, and just kind of developed myself in some ways. But then I met a lovely medium called Daphne Webb, who's down in Kent, a lovely flower lady she is. And she said, oh, why don't you come around with me? And because I'd started doing paintings and all sorts of, I just started painting. All these paintings would come out, and Native Americans and beautiful landscapes and all these things.
Oh yeah.
Just out of nowhere. And I think, wow, and then I started drawing faces, people's faces, and people would recognize them. And I thought, oh, so she said, oh, why don't you come around with me and you can draw while I'm doing the mediumship? And so I did that for kind of quite a while, and that's how I got known at all the churches in Kent. And then this one day I turned up to Deal Church to do the service, to do my psychic art, and she said, oh, by the way, she said, I'm booked somewhere else. You're doing the service tonight. You're doing the mediumship. And literally, I was just like, what? I've not done it before. And so I just had to do it. And that was it, really. So I think the psychic art was my step into actually doing mediumship, platform mediumship, which I love.
Yeah. Oh, I know you do. Yeah. I think but if anybody's starting out, I would always say, try and go to a circle,
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah. And if you don't like,
find out where your nearest one is.
Yeah. And if you don't like that one, don't be put off, because not everything suits everybody. So try something else, or try, and I always say, kind of get an affinity. You'll trust your gut and trust your feeling, because you'll meet if you're meant to do it, you'll meet the people that you're meant to meet along your way to get you where you need to go. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree there. Do you need mentors in your training to be a mediumship? Do you look up to somebody who you meet and think, I wish I were like her, or I like him?
Yeah, and normally it's about who you're drawn to, and maybe if you're drawn to somebody, and it's about going around the different churches, getting a feel for them. If you get drawn to somebody and you feel, actually I quite like, go and talk to them, ask them how they did, if they know someone's, if they're doing a circle, if they're doing, because actually, if you feel comfortable with somebody, that spirit kind of saying that's the direction to go. If something feels uncomfortable, it doesn't feel right, don't bang your head against that wall, kind of, find somewhere. But spirit will never stop working with you. So if you're in between, always sit and meditate, sit with your guide every day. I kind of think that's a really nice thing, just to sit with spirit. But always remember to a prayer of protection when you start, and when you finish, thank them, and that's really important.
I know Alison said, I talked to Bob. She does sometimes. She rings me up and I give her some messages, and but yeah, I suppose it's good, but you've got somebody to ask questions, or if you're not sure what to do in a job wise, or what direction you need to go in.
Yeah.
It can be hard if you're a normal worker and somebody says, I want you to be my manager, and you go, hey, you are? Hey, where's that come from?
Yeah.
Or anything like that. You think, am I guided to do this sort of job?
Yeah.
It can be very daunting and difficult.
Well, do you know, I still get as terrified now as I did the first time I got up on platform.
I still do doing radio.
Yeah. And that's because
sometimes before a radio show, oh God, I can't be bothered tonight. I just don't feel like it. And then once I start getting up here, I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And spirit are with you, and kind of your it's a purpose, isn't it? It's where you kind of feel led, or kind of it's where you're meant to be, or what you're meant to be doing.
Oh yeah. I know there's Alison there, there's Steph there, there's Diane's there, Melvin's there. There's quite a few in chat room. So if anybody's got a question for Sue, just put it in capitals and type it up, and then I will ask Sue some questions.
Yeah.
Before we move on, tell me a little bit about John, the psychic surgeon.
Well, I'm kind of later on in life, kind of about 7 years ago now, I met my lovely husband. So I was very lucky because I suppose I haven't had the easiest of time with people, and that's part, I think, of a spiritual. Most mediums I know haven't had easy lives. Just it's not par for the course, I think. But I met this lovely man, and my husband now, and when we came up to Scarborough to help with the church up here, Paul, who works with Ray Brown, asked Tony if he'd like to train with him, because they're kind of getting to retirement age now, and they weren't going to. And he says, I don't really want my legacy. You know what I mean? Kind of. That's it.
Yeah.
The clinics and that. So he's been training Tony for many years now to do psychic surgery. So so I have the wonderful opportunity of speaking to Dr. John, who works through him. He's a neurosurgeon from Spirit who works through Tony, and he's absolutely incredible. Kind of just like I just see the work that he does, and kind of people come in pain from their shoulder or their back and or stomach or just, and he just well, you've experienced it, Bob.
I've been.
Yeah, and he just knows where to go.
I went over. I knew Sue anyway, and I said, "Oh, I'm having trouble with my pains and my knees and my hips and my feet." She said, "Well, come over and meet Dr. John." I thought, Dr. John. So I thought, right, I'm going to go over. And I said, "Well, I can't drive, so do you mind if a friend of mine comes with me?" She said, "No problem." Anyway, I went over, and it's so different.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize. Went into the room. He's got a table there. He sat in a chair, and she said, "Oh, this is Tony." And I said, "Hello." And anyway, he went into a trance, and she said, "He's just getting ready." And anyway, he came out of trance. She said, "My name is John." I went, "Oh, all right." He said, "I would like you to sit on that platform there a little minute." So I sat there. He said, "Right," and then he laid me down and gave me some fabulous healing, absolutely amazing. You know, there's not many people can do this in the UK.
No.
You know, a lot of the old ones, like you say, are getting to retirement age, and they want people to carry on with it.
Yeah,
and I think it's a brilliant format, and I think every doctor's surgery must have somebody like this in there.
Yeah, because I mean, I see him untrap nerves that haven't been able to be entrapped due to surgery. I see him move bones, move kind of like things that just a physical doctor couldn't do. He releases sciatic nerves and femoral kind of nerves when they get trapped. You know, I remember somebody coming in and their bone, they're in pain with their foot. And it was just a bone was out of place where he could see it. So he just click, put it back into place. No pain anymore. So there's so many things that they can't, that as a physical doctor can't see, even with scans and whatever, that spirit can, and they can just, it's just, honestly, I mean, Tony, you met Tony, and Tony's kind of like from Croydon, and he's kind of, you know what I mean, he's kind of down to earth. And Dr. John's American. As he comes through, he's American. He's kind of, you know, he's knowledgeable about spirit, and he comes out with all these big words. And I think, yeah, Tony wouldn't know that. You know what I mean? And but
yeah, that's true, because Tony's job is he works on the roads.
Yeah, ground worker, down to earth. Yeah, and all his family, all his family will kind of say, "I never thought I'd he'd be involved in spirit, let alone be doing something like this. And I remember, if any of you know Ray Brown, who's a wonderful, he's been doing
Oh,
the healing for over 50 years now. I remember Paul saying about him, they chose somebody that wasn't too intelligent, it wasn't going to interfere too much, or wasn't going to think too much, or whatever. They just wanted somebody that, you know what I mean, didn't need to it wasn't going to interfere. And of course Tony doesn't, he just gets on with it. As much as he kind of gets anxious, whatever, he just allows John through to work, and it's just fabulous.
I know. A message from Melvin here. Melvin,
Okay.
I've just bought a spirit board with crystal pendulums. Have you got one, and have you used it, and what's your views on them? Thanks.
Okay. I've in my time as a medium, I've done lots of house clearances, and some of them haven't been very nice, and dealt with things. All of the not very nice ones had used a spirit board. So for me, a spirit board is not at all for somebody that isn't mediumistically able to use. So it's a really dangerous, because what you've got the spirit world, you've got our world, and you've got limbo in between. So who gets stuck in limbo are those that are frightened to go into spirit, that may have kind of like been not very nice on the earth plane and whatever. So you get them all stuck amongst others in limbo. So when you're doing spirit boards, that's who you're connecting with, more than likely, because your loved ones aren't going to come through in that way. So and I kind of think, for me, and that's just my belief and my experience of having doing clearances, everybody I know that's done one has had a negative activity afterwards. So
I think going back, a lot of kids used it in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And it got out of hand in some places.
Yeah.
Strange objects were coming through, strange animals were coming through.
Yeah.
It terrified some people.
Yeah. And what it does, it's because that's how you kind of think, because spirit, then that's the thing with spirit can kind of and I learned myself the hard way, because I did it, and I learned the hard way, and spirit can show themselves as somebody that you love, and they can sound like somebody they love, but you have to go with how you feel. And actually I had an experience where someone showed themselves, or spirit showed themselves to be my granddad, and this sounded like my granddad, but they just didn't feel right. But I thought, oh no, I just started in this way of life, it's got to be my granddad, it must just be me. And I allowed it in, and it took me months to clear it, and it was awful in my house. The activity and things were awful. So for me, I think unless you're a well-established medium, or you're doing it within a church, or kind of like a controlled environment, you should never do a spirit board. Whereas a pendulum is a wonderful thing. So crystal pendulum is brilliant for kind of asking questions. It's a bit like kind of, because it uses your body's energy, and spirit can use the energy through it to kind of direct you and help. So they're a wonderful thing.
Yeah, Mervyn was just saying as well, like, can Susie speak to spirit?
Yeah. That's how I do. That's kind of how I do my kind of the work that I do. I'm kind of when I work on platform, I'm kind of aware of them all there, and it's a bit like I suppose, like I can see my guide there letting a couple in at a time. You know what I mean, to talk to me, and so sometimes I just feel and know. Sometimes I see. Sometimes I hear. It's a combination of all of them.
Yeah, same way. This is from Steph. Susie, could you give me some advice on how to cleanse my home? There seems to be quite a lot of activity, noises, tapping, opening of doors. Many thanks.
Okay. Well, Steph, as a kind of linking in, because I always ask if I can link in, and I'm open to kind of doing the reading. So I kind of feel like with you, I don't feel there's anything negative as such. I kind of feel this is your loved ones trying to get your attention. So and I kind of feel that there's a gentleman, as I'm connecting with you, who's got, actually, I kind of feel on the earth plane he would have had quite a sense of humor. So he would have been quite a practical joker, a bit of a kind of just family man as well. I kind of feel a bit like Peter Pan, never grown up, but I just feel like, but I kind of feel like he's just trying to get your attention as a spirit. They do kind of like tell me that you're a little bit mediumistic too. So I kind of feel you're open to spirit. You're developing in different ways. So I kind of feel it's just loved ones and spirit trying to get your attention, or just letting you know that they're there. But the best way to clean, I think the best way to clean a house or cleanse a house, I quite often get the old Native American sage and I go around wafting it in all the
Yeah.
areas. That just makes me feel better. But I open all the windows in the house. I let light into every area of the house. I go into each room and say a prayer and send love into, just imagine love spreading it. And I play happy music and that's how I do. And I talk, and if I go and do clearances, I have the ability to talk to spirits, so I can talk to whoever's there and say, come on, you know what I mean? And talk them through whatever's happening. But and break up at me. Yeah. So anything, but and you've got to remember. So we fight thought with thought. So anything that makes you feel positive. So if you, some people spread holy water, and some people, you know, whatever makes you feel good about clearing your space will work, because you're setting that intention. So your intention is to send positive energy into your home and clear it. You'll do that. So as long as it's got that positive intention of love and light, and it'll clear it. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Steph says, I've been around my house with a set of Himalayan symbols to try and break up any negativity.
Yeah. Well, you've got to remember. So, say if somebody's spiritual, like with me, if it's mediumistically minded or kind of open, so you're like a light shining. So, kind of, if anything negative happens in your home, spirit will sometimes use a bit of that, get rid of that energy in a way by slamming a door or doing something, just to get rid of that energy so nobody else can use it. So sometimes it's kind of spirit, kind of just dispelling that energy for you, so that nothing can come along and use it in a negative way. Especially if you're opening up or learning spirit, kind of in a spiritual way. I hope that makes sense. But I feel Steph, I feel there's a lovely gentleman trying to get your attention. And I kind of feel also like electrics, kind of like as he's showing me, kind of like flickering lights and things like that too. So I don't feel there's anything negative as in spirit, a negative spirit. I just feel it's loved ones kind of coming in and being around you, your guides being around you too.
I know, I think it's his or hello, do you track your dreams? Do you look for meaninglessness?
I am, and I always say, like, when people ask me things, how I answer is how what I believe. So it doesn't mean that it's true, but it's what I believe and what sits comfortably with me. And I always say to somebody, if it sits comfortably with you too, that's good. If it doesn't, don't listen to me. But I kind of feel that, you know what I mean, I'm only talking on my experience, what I believe.
Yeah.
But when it comes to dreams, I think a lot of us have precognitive dreams. So we dream things before they happen, and some of it we don't remember, and then other bits we do, and then we get deja vu where we go, "Oh, I've been here before. I've been here," kind of, you know, and I, you know, and quite often that's because you've dreamt it before. You've just forgotten that you dreamt it. So quite often, you know, we're kind of, and that's kind of saying you're in the right place at the right time. So sometimes if you remember your dreams or remember specifics of them, sometimes they are telling you something. So write it down and notice, kind of, is there a pattern? Is there some kind of meaning within it? And I always say that we're all capable. So trust what comes to you. Don't you think, Bob? You just have to trust.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Stephanie just said it's my cousin who passed at the age of 21 in a car accident. He died 20 years ago this next month. We were very close. We even had the same birthday. Yes, it does make sense. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel he was a big kid and had kind of, as he comes here, he's kind of quite funny and practical joker, and I kind of feel he's got that energy with you. So he's just trying to let you know that he's there. Watch out for smells as well. I kind of feel I'm getting smells with him too.
Right, yeah. So anybody in the chat room who wants a reading tonight, put them in capitals and put them in the chat room, and then we'll relate to Susan, and then she'll give you a reading.
Can I ask, Steph, are you developing, or are you kind of learning spiritually? I kind of get that feeling with you that kind of and if you're not, then you should be, because I kind of feel there's that ability there to be doing.
I'm sure she'll get back to us in 2 minutes. Yes. Oh yeah. Alison just saying yes, please, Bob. Susie, thank you. With Alison, she's just changed her job.
Okay.
I'm sure it's going to be good for her. What do you think?
Okay. Well, I kind of think that one thing, a spirit come in, Alison, for you, is they're saying that you need to learn to trust yourself. So I kind of feel like but I feel that life has not taught you that. Life, I feel that you've had a lot of people around you that have put you down or made you feel like um not unworthy. I don't know what the words are. I'm asking them to give me, but I just feel that even taking you back to younger years, I feel you weren't made to feel like you were capable, or that you kind of so I kind of feel it's left you with this co- lack of confidence. And I kind of feel the people you've had in your life as an adult have knocked that even more. And this is what Spirit are telling me. So they're saying you're an incredible woman, and they're kind of saying, look where you've got to in life, look what you've been through, look what you've put up with, and you've survived. You're a survivor. And I kind of feel that they're saying, really, if you saw yourself through their eyes, you'd never doubt yourself for a minute, because you're an incredible woman, and with incredible strength. And they're kind of saying you need to kind of remember that. And I feel a spirit coming around you. They're saying trust yourself more. Trust that you know what's best for you. And I also feel that you're a person that gets bored easily. So I kind of feel like you need change in your life anyway. So I kind of feel doing the same thing every day, I kind of feel wouldn't suit you. So I just feel that a spirit come in, they're kind of saying, trust, follow, be led. They'll take you where you need to go.
Right. I'm sure she'll get back to us on that one. Diane's was just saying she'd love a reading. Now, Diane's, I know a little bit about Diane. She's in a job where she needs a change.
Well,
She's
I
been-
can't. I've got. Oh, you are trying to develop more, lovely, Steph. I'm so pleased you are, and I kind of feel. I'm just going to go to Steph back for a minute, Bob. I kind of feel your guides are saying just trust them to lead you and to guide you, and you may find that it might be different to how you believe it should be or how it is. Just go with what kind of comes, how spirit are leading you, because it may not be where you think you need to go. So kind of just be led on that, because not everybody that goes does this. Some people do healing, some people do physical stuff. Just be led, have a go, and that kind of thing that will lead you well. All right, Alison.
And Alison just says, thank you, Susie. I know what you mean.
Well, I just feel, and I feel excited for you, Alison. I feel really excited about life and how, because I kind of feel in some ways they're saying that you've done a lot of work on yourself. So you're kind of, and I don't know whether that's through kind of some kind of therapy or whatever, I don't know. But I just feel that they're kind of saying you are making different choices now. You are making different, and that's wonderful. That's that they're really pleased with that. So is it Diane? I'm going to go back. Sorry, Diane. I'm going to come to you now if that's okay.
Yeah, okay. Diane.
Okay.
She's in a job but she doesn't like, and it's working nights. What can you see for the future for her?
Okay. I just feel that sometimes it's about being brave. I kind of feel sometimes it's a bit being brave. And what keeps us stuck sometimes is how we have our life, or how, and it's finances, isn't it? Finances, what's going on in our lives, all these different things. But I think sometimes we just need to be brave and make a change, or do it, and know that maybe in the interim it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but that's the only way to do it, or that's the only way, kind of, because sometimes we kind of think, no, we want something put in our lap, we want it, you know what I mean, we want somebody to tell us or put it in our lap, and actually sometimes we have to make it happen. And I feel this is I feel kind of, Diane, that you know what you want to do, and you've kind of seen, and you've kind of, but it's like the fear of finances and all these different things are holding you back. And I just feel that they're kind of saying, just go for it. I don't know who Rose is, or kind of, I've got the name Rose with you, or a lady that keeps showing me. If her name's not Rose, then she loved her roses, because she just came in with this beautiful rose bush, and she's making me laugh actually, because it's trimmed to within an inch of its life. So she must have cut them back, or kind of but I know she's just bringing this rose with love.
Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Right. I know Mary's coming. She lost a dog a couple of years ago, and it broke her heart.
Oh.
I know she's got another dog now, but I think it's not the same.
And does she know it? Because they keep showing me like a it reminds me a bit of like a sheepdog, or like like the ones they whistle at, the uh, 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 um,
Uh, um,
what they call I can't think of them at the moment. But it's, you know, the ones that kind of like they whistle at and they go and collect the sheep and things like that.
oh yeah.
For some reason, someone's going to come in with one of them. Come in one of them. So I kind of thought there must be a memory of this black and white dog, or this kind of like two. But you know, Spirit kind of love animals, and animals are so loved just as much as we go over into Spirit. Animals are too. And the lovely thing is because they don't have all that karma to clear, they don't have to do any kind of life reviews or anything like that. They can come and go as they please. So if we think of them, they're with us. And I kind of feel that, Mary, I feel that your lovely doggy is with you. I kind of feel you must feel it under your feet. You must smell kind of, you know what I mean, a certain smell. And I don't know whether the dog you've got now is very skittish or very kind of like busy here and there and everywhere, or this one was. But I've just got this sense of this really skittish here, there and everywhere, kind of like under my feet, and just so I just feel that kind of like
yeah, I know you're coming from there, because the dog they've got now is it's up and down, running here, running there.
That's what I feel. And I kind of feel that this other the dog that you had would have been like, what kind of, you know what I mean, looked and kind of like and I feel it's very much around watching and thinking, well, you know, good luck with that kind of thing. But I just feel that I feel that Mary, sorry, that you have such a love for animals and such a lot of love to give them. And I kind of feel that you know, they're like your children, or kind of like, you know what I mean. I kind of feel that and how wonderful kind of that you've. And was it a rescue, did you say, that the dog that you've just got, or kind of like a
no, the dog they've got now is a pedigree dog, but it's lovely.
Okay.
It's
well,
like
I'm not sure whether
like a Shih Tzu,
okay,
some of the
well, I'm not sure whether a
little lovely dog.
I'm not sure whether a little rescue might come across your path. I kind of feel that your heart may go out to it. Ooh. So never say never.
But right, I'm sure Mary will get back to us on that. I know Steph was just saying, I know Rebecca's working today, Rebecca King. Have you just got a general reading for Rebecca? She's into paranormal. She travels all over the UK, Rebecca does, looking into strange.
Does she do talks, Bob? Does she do talks, or has she spoken like to a crowd, or?
No, she hasn't, no.
Okay, well, I see her doing that. I feel there's going to be like, do you know what it reminds me of? Like a TED Talks or something. Like, I kind of feel like a talking to a platform. So I kind of feel that there's going to be opportunities for her going forward to enlighten others, or to kind of to share what she knows, and shares kind of her knowledge, and share her kind of but I just feel with Rebecca that it's sometimes like it's the people that she has in her life, and Spirit are talking about kind of like that a lot of her stress come from other people, not from her. So a lot of the kind of like, you know what I mean, kind of like I feel they're bringing her a lot of healing as well. I feel there's a lot of healing going on, but I just feel that kind of sometimes it's the people, and if everybody else went away, she'd have quite a quiet life, or you know what I mean, her life would be a lot simpler and quieter. So I kind of feel that there's the need to kind of say no as well. To say no, don't need to do that, don't need to because the one thing I think I've learned, one, as I've got older, two, from sitting and I'm so lucky that I get to sit and talk to Spirit regularly, like every other night or kind of so, and I have done it with Dr. John, and he talks to me about, you know, Spirit and how they see us and how they kind of like. And the one thing I've learned is, and especially Bob being from a Catholic background, is guilt. Guilt is forced on you from the second you're kind of like, you know what I mean, kind of, so everything you feel guilty about. So it's so kind of talking to him, he's helped me relieve that, because he says, just because you're spiritual or loving does not mean you have to put up with any kind of rubbish. Just because you're spiritual does not mean you have to let somebody treat you badly, even if they're a family member. Just because, you know, just because you're spiritual does not mean you have to, you know. And also, when somebody else is going through something, worrying about it is going to make you ill. It's not going to help them. So if you can do something about what you're worried about, if you can do something, do it. But if you can't do anything about it, there's no point in worrying. And not worrying doesn't mean you don't care. because what you can do is send a thought
Yeah.
out to them, send a thought out to them. So I just kind of feel, and I kind of feel as I'm connecting with Rebecca, that might help her, that the fact that she doesn't need to, just being spiritual or loving person does not mean you have to put up with anything and everything. And
Right.
uh,
Alison's just saying, Susie, it's nearly a year since I lost my dad. Can you tell him I know he's around and he's happy?
oh, absolutely, Alison. They're just your dad kind of was kind of greeted by loved ones and went into the spirit world and was looked after, and he's kind of fine. Did you have a problem with his chest? Every time I come to connect with you, I kind of feel like somebody's just taken my breath away. So I kind of wonder if that's kind of dad with you, but he doesn't feel like that now. He's kind of around, and again, I feel that you know he's around. Just talk to him. You know that you kind of like it's about trusting our instincts and knowing that they're there and that they're with us. Diane, oh, that's wonderful. So that's why she was showing me the rose bush. I don't know whether you've kind of
Yeah,
trimmed it right back or kind of like, but that's wonderful because then you can take it everywhere. But you've got to remember that your mum is with you. She's with you in your heart and in your mind, and that's where she is kind of, you know what I mean. Those memories will always be there to, you know what I mean. We carry those, don't we, wherever we go.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And I kind of feel Diane, mum's also talking about some jewelry of hers that's just in a drawer or just put away, and she says, can you get it out? So I don't know whether you were different size or something, or different kind of like but she's saying, you know, find some way of having it close to her heart. So I don't know whether on a chain or something, but I just feel that she says, can you get it out and wear it?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Alison,
Yeah.
that's lovely that you talk to him. Keep talking to him. He loves you. He's around.
Martin's not here tonight. He lives in Germany, but he took his mum's flat on in Briglington now, and he's doing it up. He wanted to know, his mum's called June. Has she got any messages for him?
I kind of feel that it kind of like tell you what she's showing me. She's showing me, like, you know, Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen.
Yes.
You know, like the changing rooms.
Yes.
She's showing me him for some reason. I don't know why, or kind of like so I kind of feel like she said it's a bit like changing rooms. So I kind of feel like and I kind of feel that she wants him to know that that's fine with her, because her taste was very different to his.
Certainly different.
You know, he's just not no chintzy or no.
It's changed everything in it.
Yeah, and that's what she's showing me. She said just like that changing rooms. You know the program where she says where they go in, and they just, the whole place is kind of like kind of so. But she says it's fine, because I don't know whether he worries, or you know, would she mind it or whatever. And also, I kind of feel the sense of, I don't know whether he's kept some of her furniture or some bits or something, and she's saying it doesn't go with what you. I kind of feel the sense of it doesn't go with what you've done. So again, she said, I'm in your heart and in your kind of, I'm not in stuff. Stuff is not where I am, or you know what I mean, that's more sentimental for you. So I kind of feel she's saying you can get rid of whatever you want. She said, I'll still be there with you always.
And Diane's just said, wow, I put jewelry away.
Diane, I think there's a ring or something specific that maybe it doesn't fit, or doesn't, you're worried about kind of, I feel, put it on a chain. She wants you to put it on a chain close to your heart, just to carry kind of with her. I feel that you must have had it, or I don't know, you're worried about losing, I don't know, but she's just saying get it out of the drawer and wear it, use it.
That's so nice, is that? Yeah.
That's
good evidence what you're giving.
But I don't know whether kind of like his mum liked because she's showing me, like, you know, the soap operas and the kind of like you know, like sitting and watching the TV and not missing a kind of like a thing, and but she just keeps showing me that Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen for some reason, and I kind of feel like I kind of feel maybe kind of his tastes are quite outrageous in some way, or you know what I mean, very different.
His mother was from the old school.
Yeah, chintzy. I got very chintzy and comfortable, and you know what I mean, and kind of
a proper matron, should I say? Yeah. She was a teacher as well, like, so If she was in a class, everybody had to listen to her.
But I mean, that's missing now, isn't it? I'm not going to go into that, but I kind of think that's we need the matrons back. We need the strong kind of discipline and respect. And
he shall be happy about that, Martin will. I know he would.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I'm so pleased.
Sure he would be. So if there's anybody else in the chat room, we're all right for time yet. About another 15 more minutes. So if everybody else in the chat.
Okay. I'm just going through and reading kind of what, because I think I missed.
Diane says, Susie, her ring is too big. I will put it on a chain.
Yeah, and that's what I feel. I feel there's like a size difference, and that's why kind of she's saying put it on a chain, because you're afraid of losing it if you wear it or if you put it on.
You can get rings reduced, can't you? In size.
You can, yeah. But I kind of think it's just as simple to wear it, and they look like the bit like the Pandora ones when you wear it on a chain. It looks a bit like, yeah. So you can wear it like a long thing. Yeah. Close to her heart, because I kind of feel that now, Diane, I'm going to say this, and I'm sorry if I get it wrong, but I kind of feel that mum kind of like when she talks about her, I kind of feel that she wasn't always the best at showing how she felt, or that she kind of like I kind of feel, or she's kind of saying that she didn't always get it right. And I kind of feel as she kind of says she's done her life review and she's seen things and she's kind of sorry. And I don't know whether this is the words that were said or how but I kind of feel the sense of being sorry for the words or but I know she comes with a great deal of love. And I kind of feel that she would really like you to kind of have that close to your heart, because you're close to hers.
Alison's just saying, have you got anything for my other half? Dave, he's just lost his job.
Okay, let me see kind of what kind of now, Alison, is Dave, and I've got to be really careful how I say this, Bob, and do you know, I always get myself in trouble when I'm doing platform, because I would say is he good with his hands, and then people would take that the wrong way completely. But I kind of feel that I don't know whether that perhaps it's about him exploring doing something for himself, something that he, you know what I mean, creative, or I don't know, kind of like, but I kind of feel that maybe it isn't always about working for somebody else. Sometimes we can have ideas and let them grow. So hello, Lynn. Oh, lovely, beautiful Lynn. Kind of,
is there anything going okay with my daughter? She said, Lynn.
I feel, Spirit, really excited around your daughter. I kind of feel there's a lot of healing going, kind of going as well, but I kind of feel that's maybe for you as well, some healing. But I kind of feel that they're very excited about something that's going on with your daughter. So sometimes if a pathway is blocked, it's because another one's going to be created. It's because that there's another I'm sorry, I'm just reading the message as well. But I kind of feel like you know this better than anybody, that Spirit, kind of every cloud has a silver lining. Every cloud has a silver lining. Oh, that's what they were showing me, Alison, that he works with his hands. And I feel that he needs to set up his own business, working for himself, doing kind of like, and put it out there. Just get it out there, and it'll do really well.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, he built sheds and gardens rooms for 30 years.
Yeah.
So you've got lots of experience. It's just doing it.
Yeah.
Getting involved and trying new ways of doing things.
Yeah, and sometimes it's about using the skills that you've got in a different way. And maybe, I think he's got ideas, but it's about having the confidence to put those ideas into motion or into.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think he will do.
Lynn, are you going to be learning something new? They're showing me kind of like books, textbooks, and kind of like but I kind of feel like to do something. I don't know whether kind of like they're showing me a phrenology head or kind of whatever, like, if you're going to do counselling or something like that. But I kind of feel a sense of you learning something new to put under your umbrella, of what you do.
Oh, there's excitement coming. Good to hear.
Yeah.
That's Lynn.
And please send my love to your lovely dad. Send my love as
Oh,
always.
that's nice. That's nice to know anyway. And it means a lot. Even a little message, it means a lot to some people.
I kind of feel sometimes like for me, sometimes the specific, isn't it? Just a little something is better than a whole lot of waffling.
Oh God, yeah.
I kind of feel that I tend to try and not do that so much. I tend to get to the point, and I know sometimes that makes my readings a little bit quicker or kind of like, but I just think you can waffle and fill out, and I kind of see that a lot. I ran a church for 5 years down in Folkestone, and we had lots of wonderful mediums and people that came along and worked, and but then you get a lot of kind of people that just
yeah, no, I've seen it myself. You sat there thinking, oh my God, I hope this is going to be over soon because it's a long job.
Yeah.
Especially if they do. So with your gift, do you avoid antique shops?
Well, do you know, I avoid touching things. I avoid touching things sometimes, but I can normally feel everybody has an energy, so I can normally feel, and I quite like a rumble through things and kind of like buying tech, my husband would say, but I kind of like I tend to trust my feelings. So if I feel like, oh, I don't really like the feel of that, then I won't go near it. But crystal shops I'm not good in. I'm no good in crystal shops. Never have been. They've always given me a headache.
Yes.
There's so much energy in all those crystals, and I kind of try to avoid them.
Yeah, because too many people have touched them in the past.
Yeah. And objects kind of absorb energy, like of a situation, of a kind of place, or so. Yeah, but all of you can trust your instincts. Just trust how something feels. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. But we're like kids, aren't we? We're like kids when, like, we say to kids, don't touch the hot thing, or don't touch the. Even as adults, we know, and we're pulled to do something we shouldn't, or we're pulled to do, and we learn the hard way.
So true. And we have done it so much in the past. Lindsay's saying, we miss seeing you, Susie. It's always lovely to see your face.
Oh, I miss you all too. I do. And kind of like I kind of all the lovely churches. Lynn was from a church I did in Tenterden in Kent, and her lovely dad and family used to go along, and I just kind of like and she's just the most beautiful lady and the most wonderful healer. And I think she's doing massaging that now. I'm kind of not 100% sure, but she's just got the most. Do you know some people you meet and they're like sunshine? Yeah, they just have the energy of sunshine, and they just kind of like light up a room or light up and I feel that she'll bring healing to so many people in that way, just by being her, and that's a rare gift to have.
Oh, I've just remembered a friend of mine's not here tonight as well. I told her you would be on. Estella. She said she's looking for a house. She's been looking for, oh my God, 2 years now. Is she going to move before Christmas? She keeps working on her own house. She wants it to be up and ready for somebody to move in. And I keep saying to her, whoever buys your house will change it.
Yeah.
Themselves.
And the right person will come along and just love it.
Keep working on it. Look for somewhere what you like.
But you know, sometimes we don't, because the right place for us isn't ready yet. So if I always think if a place that you're trying to sell does not sell, or something happens or whatever, it's because the place that you're meant to go or things aren't right. So always trust kind of what happens, or kind of. And also we had a real struggle selling our flat in Kent, and someone said about burying a saint. Is it one of the saints? I can't remember which one it was, but you bury him upside down outside the house.
Oh yeah.
And the next week it sold. And so I kind of think, well, so I don't know whether it was because of that or because it was just meant to sell. I think probably because it was meant to sell. But yeah, if it's not happening, I always believe that it's because the time is not right yet. Yeah. The right person will just come along and love it, like you did.
Yeah. What's Steph say? A couple of years ago, I bought a 16th century Syrian Dowser chest. I'm sure it has attachment.
Well, if something doesn't feel good, get rid of it. I always say that. If it doesn't feel good in your home, don't have it in your home. You know what I mean? Because you've got that negative attachment to it now anyway. So if something doesn't feel good, don't have it. Don't do it. Don't be around it. Is what I'd say, Steph.
Alice is just saying she's living at her brother's at the moment. Can't get anywhere. She's looking for somewhere to move to. She's finding it difficult. I know what happened. She was living somewhere, and the guy she was renting it off was selling his house. So Alison had to move out quickly, unfortunately. Yeah. Couldn't find anywhere. And now she's living at her brother's.
Is she looking a little bit further afield? I kind of feel the sense of looking a bit further afield, not being too contained. So I kind of feel looking further afield. But again, the right place will just come up. It'll happen, and it'll be the right place for you. And I kind of feel Spirit sometimes don't want us to just settle, because I kind of feel that if you just got somewhere and you settled, you then have to move again. So I feel a sense of kind of maybe, but I recognize that sometimes living with siblings, or they're talking about living with a sibling, isn't always the easiest, because we have these two different personalities. And also you go back to being kids. You go back to that kind of like child state you kind of find yourself in. And I kind of feel they're just saying it's just, you're very different in personalities, you and your brother. And I kind of feel like mum's talking to me about this. She says you're very different in personalities. But the thing is, it's like not being in a rush and not being kind of, you know what I mean? And the right place will turn up.
And we have dogs as well, she said.
Oh, yeah, I just feel the right place will turn up. It will. But I kind of feel there's no point moving into somewhere that's not the right place, or not the right. And I just feel things are going to fall into place for both you and your partner as well. I kind of feel that they're just going to fall into place, and just be led. Let Spirit lead you. But Alison, the right place that will have dogs will turn up. It will. And it'll just be out of the blue. It'll just be, and you'll think, wow, how did that happen? And where did that come from? But I feel it's just not ready yet. Or that it's still kind of vacated. It's not been vacated yet.
So what you got planned for the future for yourself then?
For me, well, do you know, I kind of like Tony had a reading, Bob, when just when we first met, or just before we got together, and he said, you're going to meet somebody and you'll follow her around to start off with, and then she'll follow you around. And it made no sense to him. But actually, so more so now I'm concentrating on developing him and working with him and encouraging him kind of like and doing the healing, because hopefully we have a clinic in Hythe now in Kent. We do a clinic down there once a month, and then in Walcott in Leicestershire we have one weekend, and then from next year we're doing Boreham Wood as well next year. So we're building up our clinic, so hopefully we'll be doing that kind of, or Tony will be doing that. And of course I'm the secretary, tea maker, accounts. I do all the, you know what I mean, I do all the kind of like stuff that goes with it. So yeah, for me really that's where I'm heading, kind of, or where we're heading is kind of me just looking after him and Dr. John and the healing, and you know.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah,
and I've got the lovely church up here, which I try to help with fundraising.
I'd like to see you working in Lancashire as well. I think there's lots of scope of that area for Dr. John.
Yeah, well, it's just about taking our time, because Ray Brown still works up in Scarborough, so kind of he still does healing from Scarborough. So we kind of like we're doing down that way for now, and kind of working, you know, down south.
You don't want to be stepping on each of the toes.
No,
not right.
No, and if anybody up this way needs healing, we'd send them to Paul, send them to Ray and Paul. And if anybody down in Kent or down Kent or down south or that side of the country needs it, I suppose from Birmingham downwards, they'd come to us maybe. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah, but I'd say to anybody, kind of, if you know somebody that's suffering, or know somebody that's in pain, or and isn't having any luck, is get them to come along to somebody like Tony or like Ray, or kind of because I kind of think, what have you got to lose? How much would you pay to go and see a private physio, or kind of like and kind of, and you may find that Spirit are able to help. So if you're stuck and you're kind of, you know, and with so many things, it's not just kind of like sciatica and things like that. There's so many things they can help with. So always be open-minded and try something different.
And I think when you go as well, you've got to be positive in mind as well. You have to think, oh, this is going to be a load of rubbish. You've got to be there and say, this is going to help me.
No, well, do you know, it's kind of saying that we have that belief for you. So I know that it works because I've seen him fix me, fix other people. So I know that. So I have that belief, and Tony has that belief, and Dr. John knows. So if people come with doubts, it still works for them because kind of like because it's physical. It's kind of like, you know, if you've got sciatica or you've got kind of a nerve trapped or you've got pain somewhere, like somebody came in that hadn't moved their shoulder for years. Came in and he went, Dr. John went, ping, ping, whatever it is. And he was like, oh my goodness, I've not moved this in like 20 years or so, you know. So it's physical and it's real, and whether you kind of, I think, believe it or not, spirit know, and they work and they
work in different ways.
They're just wonderful. I'm just so thankful for all the spirit that I have in my life, my team, Dr. John, you know, my husband. I'm just so thankful. And you, Bob, kind of, you know what I mean, all these beautiful people I get to meet along the way too.
Oh, thank you. It's been lovely having you on the show today as well. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
I've been trying for quite a while. I know you because you've been busy or you've been going back down to Kent.
Yeah.
But we'll have you back on again before the year's out again.
Oh, yes, please. That'd be lovely.
Yeah. We'll have a fantastic time. When we finish the show, I will send you the recording of it as well.
Thank you.
And then you can put it on your webpage or whatever, wherever you want it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you about that. And Bob, it's lovely what you do and giving, you know, all these people the opportunity to talk and speak about, because the thing is, we're all different. We're all kind of like, we all believe differently, and we all kind of like, but isn't it wonderful that people get the opportunity to see all these different parts of life and different people that believe different.
Yeah.
You know, it opens our minds, doesn't it? To kind of, because I kind of think the more spirit tell it you, the more questions you have. Just the more, you know, it's just this infinite kind of so if I give advice to anybody about coming into spirit or opening up, is just be open-minded, but trust your instincts. Always, if something doesn't feel right, it isn't right, and change it.
When are you in Brid again then?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm doing a service at is it the Angel of Light one? Kind of like I'll send you a link.
Town. In the old town.
Yeah. So I'll be doing,
because Alison, Steph, Diane, and all the others all come over to Benton.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be.
They come over in October. They usually come in October. It'd be nice to meet up sometime.
Well, people can always find me on Facebook. You can find me under Psychic Susie on Facebook. If you want to chat, and I'm happy to kind of answer questions or talk to anybody. You know, I kind of.
Do you do Zoom readings then?
I do all my readings now by video call. So I kind of since lockdown, I just find it works exactly the same. So again, if somebody wants a sitting, they can always kind of message me. You can find me Sue Ludden on Facebook, or Psychic Susie, and just send me a message. Kind of, you know, or just ask if you want, you know. I don't ever be stuck. There's always somebody out there like lovely Bob, or, you know, you'll meet along the way, that will answer your questions or help. You know, because I kind of think that's what we're here for, Bob, aren't we? To make others easier.
Yeah. I know Steph just said, please get Susie back on again, Bob. It's been a brilliant show. Susie has been an excellent guest.
Oh, thank you, Steph. Well, thank you all for your lovely kind of lovely comments, and I love chatting really about spirit. It just animates me. That's what I love.
Well, thank you again. And my guest on Friday is from Valentino Marie. She's from America. She's lived in Denmark, Alaska. She's in California now. She's on Friday at 2:00 Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific, and 7 o'clock in the UK. That's Friday the 26th. In 2 days' time at 7 o'clock. She's never been on my show before. She's a newbie, so I'm sure she'll be fine.
I'm just saying everything good night. Good night, everyone. I'm sending love back to you, Lynn. Lots of love, lots of hugs. Hopefully sometime we can catch up.
I'm sure you'll catch up with Lynn.
And give your dad a big hug from me. Give him a big hug.
Ah, yeah. And Alison just saying good night, everyone.
Oh, good
Stay
night.
safe.
Good night, all. And thank you so much for your kind words and for kind of making me feel so welcome. And thank you, Bob. You're
Ah,
lovely. You're just lovely.
oh, thank you, and I will catch up with you for a coffee sometime.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Love to you all. Lots of love. I know your loved ones are there.
Yeah.
Love them so. Lots of love.
And I'll just finish the show like I usually do. Yeah, and you take care, and